All right, lesson 9.4, solving quadratic equations by graphing. Okay, we're going to find the solutions of a quadratic equation. First thing that I know is solutions to a quadratic equation are called the roots. So when on your homework or on a test or quiz, when I ask for the roots of the equation, I want the solutions, or what you see right here, the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts is where my graph crosses the x-axis. So let's say this was the graph of our parabola here. This is my x-axis, and where this parabola crosses the x-axis is going to be my roots, or the solution to the quadratic function, okay? So let's say this one looks like a -2 and a +2. So my roots would be x equals +2 and -2. It's just where the quadratic equation crosses the graph. So if I were to give you a graph, it's already done, the parabola's on the graph, and I were to say, find the roots, all you would have to do is look at each spot the parabola crosses the x-axis. Now, normally you will always have two solutions to a quadratic function. There are some instances where you can only have one, but that will be when the vertex touches the x-axis, okay? So like we have right here. My vertex touches the x-axis. That is the only place that my parabola touches the x-axis, so I only have one root or one solution, okay? On this last picture here, you see that my parabola will never touch the x-axis. The vertex here is higher than the x-axis, and my parabola opens up. So it will never come down here and cross the x-axis, which means it will have no roots at all. Okay, so if you were to see a picture of a graph like that, you would know that there are no roots. So, how do I find a root without a graph? How do I find what my solution is going to be without a graph? Okay, we can solve it algebraically. Since I know that it's the x-intercepts, if I find what x equals, then I know my roots. So we're going back to what we did in lesson 9.1 part 2. Okay, and we're just solving for x. So if I have this equation right here, 3x squared equals 27, what would I do first to get x by itself? Divide by 3, very good. Divide by 3, divide by 3, and I get x squared is equal to 9. What would I do next? Square root, very good. Cancel out, and I get x is equal to positive and -3. Now, it is very important that you put positive and negative, because remember, my quadratic function, my parabola, has to cross the graph at 2 places, okay? Has to cross the graph at 2 places. So if I only put +3, then I have not given the right answer. It is positive and -3. All right, let's do the next one. What should I do first, Josh? Somebody help him out. Add 10. Very good. I don't want to move the fraction yet, okay, because I've still got to move the like terms together. So I've got 1/2 x squared is equal to 18. Now, what should I do, Cortez? I want to multiply 1/2. Exactly, multiply the reciprocal, because I can't ever divide a fraction, so instead I multiply by the reciprocal. What that does is it cancels it out over here, and what it does over here is, what's 2 over 1 as a whole number? 2, so I have times 2. Then I get x squared is equal to 36. What would I do now, Haley? Very good. Square root on both sides. And I get x is equal to what? 6. Would it just be 6? Positive negative 6. Very good. So that's all we're going to do today in order to find the roots algebraically.